Welcome to our deep dive into the world of LLM ops.
LLMOps.
And no, it's not a new fitness craze.
No.
LLM ops stands for Large Language Model Operations. And it's the engine behind some of the most impressive AI we're seeing today.
Right.
You know, things like ChatGPT,
Yeah, ChatGPT.
that's powered by an LLM.
That's right.
But have you ever wondered what's happening behind the scenes to make that magic work?
The magic, yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we're here to uncover.
Exactly.
And to help us navigate this world, we've got some great source material to guide us today.
We do.
We've got some technical information from a platform called ZenML,
Okay.
notes on companies using LLM ops in the real world, and even some insights from the ZenML website itself about how it's being used in practice.
Awesome.
So our goal today is to help you understand what LLM ops is all about,
Yes.
why it's such a hot topic right now,
Very hot topic.
and how it's already starting to impact different industries.
Yeah, and maybe even give you a glimpse into how it might impact your life in the future. Imagine AI woven into how businesses operate,
Wow.
how you book flights, even how prescriptions are handled.
Yeah, it's closer than you might think.
It is.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Sure.
let's break down the basics.
Okay.
What exactly is LLMOps?
Well, think of it like this. Imagine you're building a house.
Okay,
You wouldn't just start laying bricks without a plan.
right. Of course not.
You need architects, engineers,
Yeah.
builders, and a whole system to ensure everything runs smoothly.
Right.
LLMs is essentially the same thing, but for large language models.
Okay.
It's the set of practices and tools that make sure these powerful AI models are built, deployed, and managed effectively.
So it's like the construction crew, project manager, and quality control team all rolled into one.
Yes.
But for AI,
And for AI, that's a great analogy.
and just like in construction, having a solid LLMOps framework in place is crucial for success.
It really is.
Okay, that makes sense.
Good.
Now, one name that keeps popping up in our research is ZenML.
ZenML. Yeah.
What exactly is that?
ZenML is a prominent open source LLMOps framework.
Framework.
I know framework sounds a bit technical, but think of it like a toolbox.
Okay.
It provides all the tools and the structure you need to manage the life cycle of an LLM application.
So it's not the AI itself,
Right.
but it helps you build and manage the AI.
Precisely.
It takes care of all the behind-the-scenes work, like managing data, training the model, and deploying it, so you can focus on the creative aspects of building your AI solution.
Yeah, all that technical stuff.
I see now their website mentions some pretty impressive features.
They do.
Things like being infrastructure agnostic and having scaling capabilities.
Yes.
Can you break those down for us in simpler terms?
Sure. Infrastructure agnostic simply means it's flexible.
Okay.
You're not tied to using a specific cloud provider or a particular type of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having a universal remote that works with any TV.
So it plays nicely with whatever setup you already have.
Yes.
That's great for someone just starting out, right? And as for scaling capabilities, that means ZenML can handle a small project today and a massive one tomorrow.
Right.
As your AI needs grow, ZenML grows with you.
Exactly.
It's like having a house that magically expands as your family gets bigger.
I like that analogy.
Okay, so it's flexible and scalable. That's starting to paint a picture of why ZenML is becoming so popular in the LLMOps world.
It is.
But enough about the tools for a moment.
Sure.
Let's talk about what LLMOps is actually achieving in the real world.
The real world. Okay.
Our notes mention an LLMOps database.
Yes.
What's that all about?
That's a fascinating collection of real-world examples of how companies are using LLMOps to solve problems and create value.
Okay.
And these aren't just theoretical applications. We're talking about companies, interact with every day.
Okay. Give us the juicy stuff.
All right.
What kind of real-world problems are being tackled with LLMOps?
So, for example, Alaska Airlines is using LLMOps to power its natural language flight search.
Alaska Airlines?
Imagine being able to ask their system, find me the cheapest flight to Hawaii next month.
Uh-huh.
And it understands you perfectly and delivers exactly what you asked for.
So instead of messing around with all those filters and drop-down menus,
Yes, all those filters.
you just talk to it like a real person.
And a real person.
That's pretty cool. I know, I'd much rather do that.
Me too.
And it's not just travel. Allianz, the insurance giant, is using LLM ops to power AI chatbots that handle claims.
Alliance, wow.
What's interesting here is that they're using a continuous feedback loop to constantly improve the chatbot's responses, making it more accurate and helpful over time.
That's right.
So the chatbot is constantly learning and getting better as it interacts with more people.
It is.
That's a great example of how LMMOps can help create a more seamless and efficient customer experience.
It really is.
Now, I'm curious about the impact on everyday people like me.
Okay.
Do these LMOps applications have any direct relevance to my life?
Absolutely. Take Amazon, for
For
instance.
Amazon, okay.
They've developed a HyperA compliant pharmacy chatbot using LLMs.
HyPay compliant?
This means you could potentially get answers to your medication questions, refill prescriptions, or even manage sensitive health information all through a conversational AI interface.
Wow. So instead of waiting on hold or navigating a complex website,
Right.
I can just chat with a helpful AI.
You got it.
That sounds incredibly convenient.
It is.
And because it's HyPay compliant, your information is being handled securely and confidentially.
Securely and confidentially.
These examples are really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what LLMOps is capable of.
They're just the beginning.
Okay, so we've established that LLMOps is a big deal.
A very big deal.
And ZenML seems to be a key player in this space.
It is.
But I'm still a bit fuzzy on the technical side.
Okay.
How does ZenML actually work?
Let's dive into that next.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of LLMOps.
LLMOps.
In part 1, we talked about what LLMOps is and why it's becoming so important in the age of AI. We even got a sneak peek at some real-world companies using it to do some pretty incredible things.
Yes, some amazing applications.
Now I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay, let's get into it.
What are some of the challenges companies face when they actually try to put LLMOps into practice?
That's a great question.
Mm,
Implementing LLM apps isn't always a walk in the park.
I can imagine.
One of the biggest hurdles is just the sheer amount of data involved.
The data.
We're talking about massive data sets, often terabytes or even petabytes in size.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
Managing processing and keeping track of all that data is a monumental task.
Wow, that's hard to even wrap my head around.
It is a lot.
It's like trying to organize a library the size of a small city.
A good analogy.
How do companies even begin to tackle that?
Well, they have to rely on some pretty specialized tools and infrastructure.
Okay.
Think of it like building a high-speed rail system instead of relying on old country roads.
Okay.
You need powerful systems that can handle the volume and speed of data flowing through.
So it's not just about having enough storage space.
Right.
It's about having the right systems in place to manage that data effectively.
Exactly. And then there's the challenge of training these massive models.
The training.
It's like teaching a supercomputer to speak, read, and understand complex information.
Wow.
That requires a tremendous amount of computational power and can get expensive very quickly.
I can imagine it's like having a giant energy bill just to keep your AI running.
It can be very expensive.
How do companies manage those costs?
Well, cloud computing has been a game changer for LLMOps.
The cloud.
It's like renting a supercomputer for a few hours instead of having to buy one outright.
Okay.
Companies can scale their computing power up or down as needed,
Uh-huh.
which helps them control costs and stay flexible.
So it's like paying for electricity only when you're actually using it?
Yeah, a good analogy.
That's a smart way to do business.
It is.
But getting the model trained is only half the battle.
Right.
You also need to figure out how to deploy it
A
effectively.
deployment, yeah.
That means making it accessible to users,
Right.
whether it's through an API, a web application, or some other interface.
Yeah, some way for people to actually use it.
Right, because what good is a brilliant AI if no one can actually use it?
Exactly. It needs to be usable.
What are some of the things to consider when deploying an LLM?
Well, speed is crucial.
Right.
Users expect instant responses, especially when they're interacting with a chatbot or using a real-time translation service.
Yeah, you don't want to be waiting around.
So you need to optimize the deployment infrastructure to make sure there are no delays in processing requests.
That makes sense. No one wants to wait 5 minutes for a chatbot to answer a simple question.
No, they do not.
And then there's a challenge of monitoring the deployed model.
Yes, monitoring.
LLMs are complex systems, and they can
Mhm.
sometimes behave unpredictably in the real world.
They can?
You need to constantly keep an eye on their performance, identify any errors, and make adjustments as needed.
You need to keep them in check.
So it's like having a team of engineers constantly monitoring the AI to make sure it's not going off the rails.
That's right, making sure it's behaving.
What kind of tools do they use for that?
There are specialized monitoring tools that can track things like accuracy, latency, and error rates.
Okay.
They can also detect any strange patterns in the model's output, which could indicate a problem.
So unusual behavior.
Exactly.
It's like having a dashboard that gives you a real-time view of how your AI is performing out in the wild.
Exactly. And this brings us to a crucial aspect of LLMOps,
Okay.
continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement.
It's not a one-time process.
Uh-huh.
It's an ongoing cycle of building, deploying, monitoring, and refining.
So it never really stops.
It doesn't.
The goal is to constantly learn from real-world data and make the model better over time.
That's the goal, always improving.
That makes sense. It's like a never-ending quest to make the AI smarter, more accurate, and more aligned with its purpose.
Yes, always striving for better.
But how does a framework like ZenML support this continuous improvement process?
Well, ZenML provides structure and tools that make this whole process more manageable.
Okay.
It helps you manage those massive data sets, orchestrate complex training workflows, and deploy models to different environments.
Uh-huh.
And it does all of this while promoting collaboration and reproducibility.
So ZenML is like the scaffolding and the project management software that helps teams build and improve their AI models more effectively.
That's a great way to put it.
For instance, ZenML integrates with popular cloud platforms like AWS and GCP.
Right.
This makes it easy for companies to leverage the power and scalability of the cloud for their LLMOps needs.
Exactly. They can tap into those resources.
And from what we saw on their website, ZenML also simplifies the deployment process.
Yes, to deployment.
You can easily deploy your model to different environments, whether it's a local server, a cloud platform, or even a mobile device.
That's the flexibility of ZenML.
So it's very versatile.
It is.
And ZenML's built-in monitoring and logging features make it easy to keep track of model performance and identify areas for improvement.
Right? Always keeping an eye on things.
You're essentially getting a constant stream of feedback that you can use to fine-tune your AI model.
Exactly. Using that data to get better.
So it sounds like ZenML really does streamline the entire LLMOps lifecycle.
It ties everything together.
From managing data to deploying models to continuously improving them over time.
All in one platform.
But it's important to remember that LLMOps is not just about tools and technology.
Right.
It's also about people and processes.
The human element.
Building and deploying successful AI systems requires collaboration between data scientists, engineers, product managers, and other stakeholders.
It takes a team.
Ah, the human element. Why is that so important in the world of LLMOps?
Well, think about it. You have all these brilliant minds working together, each with their own expertise.
Different perspectives.
To be successful, they need to communicate, clearly understand each other's roles, and have well-defined processes in place.
So it's not enough to have the best tools.
No.
You also need the right team and the right culture to make LLMOps work effectively.
Exactly. The human factor is crucial.
And that's where the principles of DevOps, which focuses on collaboration, automation, and continuous feedback, come in handy.
DevOps.
They provide a framework for building a culture of shared responsibility, rapid iteration, and continuous learning, which are all essential for success in the fast-paced world of AI.
That's right. Keeping up with the speed of AI.
That makes sense. LLMOps is really about bringing together the best of technology and human ingenuity to build and deploy AI solutions that solve real-world problems.
It's a powerful combination.
Precisely. And as LLMOps matures, we can expect to see even more sophisticated tools and practices emerge.
Oh, absolutely.
Further streamlining this process.
Making it even more efficient.
This is all incredibly fascinating.
It is.
But I'm curious to see how LLMOps is actually being applied in different industries.
Okay, let's explore that.
Can we dive into some specific examples?
Absolutely. Let's explore how LLMOps is being used to transform education, accelerate drug discovery, and even revolutionize customer service.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered what LLMOps is, the challenges of implementing it, and even saw how companies are using it to do some really innovative things.
Some really cool stuff.
Now for the final part of our journey. Let's put on our futuristic thinking caps and look ahead.
Okay.
What's next for LLMOps? Where is all of this heading?
That's where it gets really interesting. The world of AI is moving so fast, and LLMOps is right at the forefront of that evolution.
Okay.
One trend we're seeing is the rise of something called democratized AI.
Democratized AI. That sounds intriguing. What does that mean exactly?
It means that tools and platforms like ZenML are making LLMOps more accessible
Okay.
to a much wider range of people, not just the AI experts.
So more people can use it?
Exactly. Businesses of all sizes, even individuals, are starting to have the power to build and use AI in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
Wow, so it's like AI is going mainstream no longer just for the big tech companies.
That's right. The power of AI is being put into more hands.
I can see how that would be a game changer. What other trends are shaping the future of LLMOps?
There's a growing emphasis on responsible AI.
responsible AI.
As AI becomes more powerful and integrated into our lives, it's crucial to make sure it's being used ethically and responsibly.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the potential for bias in AI,
Yeah.
and that's just one example of the challenges we need to address.
Right. It's not just about building AI that's smart.
Uh-huh.
It's about building AI that's fair, transparent, and accountable.
Right. So how is LLMOps addressing this?
We're seeing a lot of development in tools and techniques for detecting bias,
Yeah.
auditing for fairness, and making AI more explainable.
Okay.
These are all things that are being integrated into LLMO's platforms, which is really encouraging.
That's great to hear. It sounds like the industry is taking these concerns seriously.
It seems so.
Now, apart from these broader trends, are there any specific technological advancements on the horizon that you're excited about?
Absolutely. One area that's generating a lot of buzz is Edge AI.
Edge AI.
This is all about running AI models directly on devices like smartphones, sensors, or even self-driving cars,
Okay.
instead of relying on the cloud.
So instead of sending data to a remote server, the AI is doing the thinking right there on the device.
Exactly. It's like having a mini brain right there in the device.
So what's the advantage of that?
Several advantages, actually. First, it speeds things up.
Okay.
There's no delay in sending data back and forth, so the AI can respond much faster.
That makes sense.
This is crucial for things like self-driving cars, where split-second decisions are critical.
Yeah. Definitely in that case, milliseconds matter.
Exactly. Edge AI also enhances privacy.
Privacy. How so?
Your data is processed locally, so it's not being sent to a third-party server.
So it stays on the device.
Right. This is a big deal for things like healthcare apps or anything involving sensitive personal information.
So it's like having your own personal AI bodyguard, keeping your data safe and secure.
A great way to think about it, and there's one more big advantage.
Okay, what's that?
Edge AI can function even when internet connectivity is poor or non-existent.
Oh, so it doesn't need the internet to work.
Not necessarily. So you could still use AI-powered apps or devices in remote areas or if the network goes down.
So Edge AI is fast, private, and resilient. Sounds like the perfect trifecta.
It does have a lot of potential.
Mhm.
But how does this tie into LLMOps?
That's a good question.
LLMOps is evolving to meet the challenges of this new world of Edge AI.
Okay.
We're seeing tools and techniques specifically designed to optimize models for edge deployment, manage updates remotely, and ensure that edge AI systems are secure and reliable.
So it's like a mini LLMOps ecosystem specifically tailored for edge devices.
Exactly. A whole new set of tools and best practices are emerging.
Fascinating. Any other tech advancements you're keeping an eye on?
Another big one is AI automation.
AI auto.
Right now, building and deploying AI models still requires a lot of manual work and expertise.
Yeah, it's a very specialized field.
But that's changing. We're seeing tools that can automate many of the steps involved in LLMs, which will make it much faster and easier to develop and deploy AI solutions.
So less manual work, more automation.
Exactly. So it's like having AI that helps you build other AIs.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is. These automation tools can handle things like data preprocessing, choosing the right model, tuning parameters, and even deploying the model.
Wow. So they can do a lot.
This frees up AI experts to focus on the higher level tasks,
Okay.
like designing the architecture of the model and thinking about the ethical implications.
So the more strategic stuff.
Right, the stuff that really requires human intelligence and judgment.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like letting the machines do the heavy lifting so that humans can focus on the creative and strategic aspects of AI development.
It's all about finding the right balance between human and artificial intelligence.
And as AI automation continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more sophisticated tools that can handle even more complex tasks.
Oh, absolutely. The pace of innovation is incredible.
So it seems like the future of LLMOps is about making AI not just more powerful,
Right.
but also more accessible, responsible, and efficient.
That's a great way to summarize it. And all of these advancements are converging to create a future where AI is seamlessly integrated into our lives,
Wow.
powering everything from personalized healthcare to smarter cities.
It's an exciting vision of the future, but I'm sure our listeners are wondering what all of this means for them. How will these LLMOps advancements actually impact their lives?
That's the big question, isn't it? The impact of LLMOps will be felt across all industries and aspects of our lives.
Okay.
Imagine a world where healthcare is personalized and preventative, where education is tailored to each student's unique learning style, where transportation is safer and more efficient, and where our cities are smarter and more sustainable.
It sounds like a utopian vision of the future powered by AI.
It does, doesn't it? And it's not as far off as you might think. LLMOps is laying the groundwork for these kinds of advancements, making it possible to build and deploy AI solutions that can truly make a difference.
This has been an incredible journey. We've explored the complexities of LLMOps, seen its incredible potential, and even peered into the future of this rapidly evolving field. But as we wrap up, I think it's important to remember that the future of AI isn't predetermined. It's being shaped right now by the choices we make and the conversations we have.
I completely agree the future of LMOps is not just about technological advancements.
Right.
It's about shaping a future where AI is used ethically, responsibly, and for the benefit of all, and that's where our listeners come in.
Exactly. We encourage you to continue exploring, questioning, and learning about AI and its impact on our world. Engage in conversations, challenge assumptions, and be active participants in shaping this technological revolution.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of LMOps. We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking.
And remember, the conversation is just beginning. Until next time, keep learning and keep exploring.